Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my personal Heavensward Checklist. With Final Fantasy XIV's first expansion coming out in just over a month, a lot of viewers are asking me what I'm doing to prepare and what they should be doing to prepare. Whether that be in-game or real life, I figured I'd share some of my plans going into the expansion to give you an idea of what you might want to do as well. First on the list, finish the main story. Now, I've already done this on one character, but I do still have two other characters I need to do it on, so I'm including it here. Finishing the main story is required to participate in expansion-related content, whether that be the new jobs or going to the new areas. The only thing it's not required to do is break the level 50 cap. So, if you are a new or returning player, this should be your #1 priority over everything else. The final fight of A Realm Reborn, the Steps of Faith, was recently nerfed, so you should find your entry into the expansion a lot simpler than it was before. Remember that other pieces of content are optional. The Binding Coil of Bahamut, the Crystal Tower storyline, Extreme Primals, none of that is required to do anything in the expansion. But I do still recommend that if you have the time to do those, not only to get gear for the expansion, for the leveling process I should say, but also just to get some experience in the game as a raider and sort of understand the content we're going to be seeing in the expansion. Second on my list, ensure to level every class as high as possible. Now, I'm strictly talking about battle classes here. We'll talk about crafting and gathering in the next point. So this is a step that some people may groan at, but having this done may be important for two different reasons. For one, having all of your cross-class abilities going into the expansion ensures you don't need to go out of your way to get them post-expansion, so you can enjoy the more up-to-date content when it comes out. Second, we are still unsure of any correlation between our current classes and the requirements to unlock the 3 new jobs, so having them all at least level 30 should help mitigate any concerns that you may have. So you better get dungeon, fate, leave, and challenge log grinding. You're gonna need it. My third point on the list is to level your crafting and gathering classes as much as humanly possible. Now, I'll say it right now, it's pretty worthless to gear them up at this point, since the gear for crafters and gatherers is going to be replaced awfully quickly come expansion time, and you are going to need to get 10 more levels for each of them. But it is definitely a good idea to invest in getting the classes to 50 themselves. Remember that crafters in particular don't just craft. Having a crafter at 50 will make it so you can repair your own gear, which saves a lot of money. You can desynthesize items just to make money. And should you desire, you can actually go down the path of crafting items. Both crafting and gathering are big money makers and money savers, so you should definitely invest in leveling both crafting and gathering a bit through leaves, Grand Company turn-ins, Ixal dailies, and just straight up crafting and gathering. Alright, so time for my fourth one on the list. Plan your meals ahead. Alright, I know some of you are WTFing at that one, but seriously, it's an important preparation step and it's one I'm already taking. Now, when expansions like this come out, and I've seen it happen before, for big MMOs, it can be easy to neglect proper nutrition, which honestly ruins the gaming experience after a certain amount of time. You're going to be exhausted, you're not going to be able to focus, you might feel sick, and if you are somebody who's an extremist, you might even end up in the hospital. You don't want any of that, so be sure to go shopping and take the time out for proper eating and stay hydrated, please. Buy a 24-pack of water and put it next to your computer so you just have to reach over and grab it. Think of some meals that are quick to cook and are still nutritious, like eggs and toast with the yolks in. Those are great ones, 5 minutes to make, 5 minutes to eat. Also, cook some chicken breast or some other kind of food that you can just store away in the fridge. Maybe buy some salad greens or cook up some green beans or something like that and put those in the fridge with it. And then combine them for a quick meal whenever you need to get some food in your stomach. Meal replacement shakes can be okay as long as you don't abuse them. All I'm trying to get across is that you will have a better time if you actually stay healthy and eat and stay hydrated. Trust me, it just makes the gaming experience so much better if you do that. Back to in-game advice. Fifth thing on the list is to save up Gil. I see a lot of people burning through Gil like a month before the expansion is coming out on the Novus step, on their relic, or pentamelded crafted gear for like Final Coil or something like that, or best in slot list. Look, I'm going to tell you, you can spend your Gil however you want to. Heck, some of the people buying these things don't care because they have hundreds of millions and it's like a drop in the pond to them. But for the people out there that don't have super deep pockets and are still doing these kind of things, I'd say only spend the Gil if it's something you are super interested in doing now. Otherwise, keep it for that impulse buying you're going to be tempted to do when the expansion comes out. Bonus piece of advice here, don't impulse spend in the expansion. And while we're on the topic of the Zodiac questline, at this point, if you aren't already past the Novus step, I'd recommend just halting your progress. The questline is going to see heavy nerfs when the expansion comes out, because at that point it's pretty much going to be glamour. The weapon itself won't even be good at 60. It'll probably be good for the majority of the leveling process, but it's just not going to be some great weapon you're going to keep using at 60 right away. Sure, having a Zeta weapon will give you a slight advantage when the new weapon questline comes out in 3.1 as well, but it's a lot of time and money to put into it now, so unless you're hell-bent on finishing a Zeta before the expansion, I would say just wait for the nerfs and do it when you're bored after you've exhausted all the expansion content several months down the line, if at all, before 3.1. And my final thing on the list, decide the order of the things you're going to do when the expansion comes out. Which jobs you're going to level first, you're going to craft, you're going to gather, you're going to focus on getting the dungeons down. Do you want to stream? Do you want to make YouTube videos? Do you have special events planned with your friends? Do you want to prepare for PvP, finding a free company or a link shop? All those things apply. Remember that there are 4 days in early access, then the official launch of the game on June 23rd. Alexander Normal, the first raid of the expansion, comes out 2 weeks after June 23rd. So if you're planning to tackle that, you'll need to prepare adequately with leveling and gear. 2 weeks after that, so a month after the expansion launch, Alexander Savage, the new PvP map and mode, and Tomestones of Esoterics, the weekly cap tomestones at level 60, will be coming out. So you'll have plenty of stuff planned out for the next couple of months, with all that leveling you're going to have to do especially. I know I'm going to level my ninja to 60, level machinist to 60 as a backup, gear them both out fully, and then dabble in Dark Knight and Astrologian in my spare time. Probably farm some Ravana and Bismarck and get the best item level stuff I can get in time for Alexander Normal and Savage. So hopefully my little list here helped you get an idea of what to do, whether you're a new or returning player, someone who's thinking of coming back, wondering if it's too late. One final piece of advice: it's an MMO. It's never too late. I don't know what doing the main story is going to be like after 3.0 comes out. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of changes to it to make it far more accessible and a little bit more beneficial to you to do as a new player before you go into the expansion. But don't worry about it too much. Just focus on these things if you're already playing or if you're new, and you should be fine. I have a Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play series that's had me preparing for this on an alternate character for a few months now. So if you want to check it out, you can go over there. There's also plenty of other YouTubers that will help you with this as well, such as Mithri, who's been helping people with crafting and making Gil. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to leave your advice for other people in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.